Hello and welcome back. You are listening to Season 2, Episode 7 of Threads of Tomorrow Crafting Textiles. I am your host.
And I am your expert. Today we're doing something a little different.
We're going to bridge that gap between, the digital world of pixels and the physical, messy world of threads and ink.
We're taking a whole stack of research on textile production and telling it through one story. It's a story about limits, really.
What happens when a digital artist hits the physical ceiling of their tools?
Exactly. It's about a designer named Bella, but, it could be about any of us. That moment you realize how you make something is just as important as what you make.
Precisely. And before we jump into Bella's crisis, and believe me, it is a crisis, we really want to thank the partner who made this episode possible.
Absolutely. This deep dive is brought to you by omemy.com.
That's spelled O-M-E-M-Y, D-T-I-N-O-A. But we pronounce it omemy.com.
omemy.com. Yeah, they're a fantastic platform for self-learning. And actually, the story we're about to tell, you can find the full reader on their site.
Well, that's great. So you can practice your reading while learning all of this. You can visit them to read the full story at your own ease.
A perfect combo.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story begins with a woman named Bella.
Right. Bella runs a small design studio, Bella Creates. She's talented, a graphic designer by trade, spends all day in Adobe Illustrator.
She is what you'd call a digital native, very comfortable behind a screen.
Completely. And her business model reflects that. She does custom work, small batches. You need 5 tote bags for a party, 10 t-shirts for a reunion, that kind of thing.
And for those small jobs, she's using digital printing, right?
Correct. It's called DTG, or direct to garment. Think of it like a huge office inkjet printer. You load a t-shirt instead of paper, hit print, and it sprays the ink right on.
It's clean, it's easy.
And until
the email arrives.
The email, yes. The inciting incident, as they say.
It arrives on a Tuesday morning.
An email from St. Xavier's College. They're planning their annual fest. It's a huge deal. And they want t-shirts.
That sounds like great news. A big order.
It should be. But the number, it was for 300 t-shirts.
300. Okay, that's a big jump from 10.
Massive jump. And they had specifics. A bold black design on white shirts, a very strict budget, and the deadline was just 4 weeks away.
Oh, I think I see the problem. 300 shirts, using her usual digital method. The cost would be astronomical, wouldn't it?
It would be a financial disaster. The thing about digital printing is that the cost is pretty much linear. The first shirt costs almost the same as the 300th.
It doesn't get cheaper in bulk.
Not really, no. The ink is expensive, the machine is slow, she'd be working for weeks just to lose money.
Wow. And there's a quality issue too, isn't there, with digital prints?
There can be, especially for something like a college fest shirt that's going to get a lot of wear. Digital prints can sometimes feel like a sticker, just sitting on top of the fabric.
I know exactly what you mean. After a few washes, it starts to crack and peel off.
Precisely. That's usually heat transfer or lower-end DTG. It's just not durable enough for a mascot tee. So Bella's stuck. She's just staring at that reply button, terrified.
So what does she do?
She gets out of her bubble. She calls a friend, Mira, who runs a fashion label. Mira knows the production side of things.
And Mira gives her the golden advice.
She does. She says, Bella, digital is for prototypes. For 300 pieces, you need the heavy artillery. You need screen printing.
Screen printing. It sounds so old-fashioned, like something out of an art class.
It is. I mean, versions of this technique go back over 1,000 years to China. But Mira explains it's still the king of bulk printing.
Because of the cost.
Exactly. High setup costs, but once you're set up, each extra shirt becomes, dirt cheap to print. So Mira connects Bella with a woman named Saya.
And this is where the real journey begins. Bella leaves her quiet little studio and goes to Saya's screen studio.
And this moment in the story is so vivid. It's a total sensory shift for her. She walks out of her quiet, clean office and into this workshop.
The hum of machinery.
The racks of fabric drying and that smell, the smell of ink. It's a very specific, almost sweet chemical smell.
And there's Saya, our mentor figure, covered in ink splatters.
Yep, wearing an apron that's basically a Jackson Pollock of past jobs, badges of honor, and she's got this warm smile. She can tell Bella is totally out of her element.
So she starts with the absolute basics. The big question. What is screen printing?
And this is so important for you listening to grasp, too. Saya just picks up a mesh frame. Picture a wooden frame with a fine net stretched super tight across it.
Like a window screen almost.
A bit like that, yeah. But much finer. And Saya uses the star analogy. She says, imagine we want to print a star.
Okay.
To do that, you have to block all the holes in this net everywhere except for the shape of the star. You're making a stencil on the screen itself.
So the ink can only get through the open part,
Yeah.
which is shaped like a star.
You've got it. You lay that screen on a t-shirt, pour ink on top, and then you take this rubber blade, a squeegee, and pull the ink across.
It pushes the ink through the open mesh onto the shirt.
And that's it. It's so beautifully simple. Ancient cleverness.
But the real reason it's still used is the quality, right?
Yeah.
Saya has Bella do the field test.
She does. She hands Bella a screen-printed shirt, and Bella touches it, and the first thing she notices is how soft it is.
It's not like a sticker.
Not at all. Because you're physically pushing the ink, it actually penetrates the fibers. It soaks into the fabric and bonds with it. It becomes part of the shirt.
Which means it's not going to crack or peel after a few washes.
It'll last for years. It's durable. It's perfect for the college students. Saya just lays it out so clearly. Block printing, too slow, digital, too expensive and plasticky. Screen printing is the answer for bulk.
So Bella's convinced. Now she has to understand the how.
Yeah.
Saya gives her the tour.
The tour of the tools, and it looks intimidating at first. You've got the screens, the squeegees, this green goo called emulsion, and a big UV light box called an exposure unit.
A lot of moving parts. Let's walk through the process step by step. Step 1 is design prep.
Yes, and this is a big lesson for Bella. In screen printing, one color equals one screen.
So if her design had black and red,
She'd need 2 separate screens, 2 setups, double the work. Luckily, her design is just black, so she just needs to print her design in solid black onto a clear sheet of film.
okay, that's the positive. Step 2.
Coding. You're in a dark room now. You take that green photo emulsion goo and spread a thin, even layer over your mesh screen. You let it dry in the dark.
Because it's light sensitive, like old camera film.
Exactly. Which brings us to step 3, exposure. You take your clear film with the black design, you tape it to your coated screen, and you put it in that UV light box.
And you blast it with light.
For a few minutes, yeah. And the UV light does something very specific. It hardens the green emulsion, turns it into a solid. But the black ink on your film blocks the light.
So the area of the design doesn't get exposed, it stays soft.
It stays soft and water-soluble. And that leads to the best part. Step 4, the washout.
Bella's aha moment.
Totally. Saya takes the screen to a washout booth, just a big sink really, and sprays it with a pressure washer. And the hard emulsion stays put. But the soft parts where the design was,
They just wash away.
they wash away right down the drain. And suddenly, like magic, you have this perfect stencil of your design left on the screen. It's incredibly satisfying to watch.
I can imagine. And after that, it's just a matter of printing.
Yep. Line up the screen, pour the ink, pull the squeegee, and then the final step is curing, running the shirt through a big heater to make the ink permanent.
It sounds like a lot of work to set up.
It is, but that's the key. The setup is the same whether you're printing 10 shirts or 1,000. The actual printing takes seconds per shirt. That's where you save the money on big orders.
It's all starting to make sense. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of inks and safety in a moment. But first, let's just pause and remind everyone about the community that's behind this story.
Yes. As we said, this deep dive is brought to you by omami.com. That's omi-my.com. And beyond just the website, they've built a really active community you can be a part of.
It's a WhatsApp community called Debbie the Curious. It's made for people like you listening right now. Designers, makers, anyone who loves to learn how things work.
And joining is super easy. If you look at the poster for this podcast, you'll see a QR code on it. Just open your phone's camera and scan that code.
What will they get when they join?
You'll get updates on new podcasts like this one, blogs, tools, training opportunities, even live workshops. It's all curated for this specific audience. So please scan that code and come join the conversation.
Debbie the Curious. I love that. Okay, back to Bella. She's looking at her design for the college mascot.
And this is where she gets a bit lucky. Her design is perfect for this. It's bold, it's solid black, it's a vector graphic. Sia tells her it's an ideal first project.
Because screen printing loves simplicity.
It really does. It struggles with photographs or smooth gradients or really tiny text. A bold, solid shape is its bread and butter.
And we already mentioned the cost of color. One color means one screen.
And that keeps the price way down for the college. If she had designed a 5-color mascot, the cost would have been significantly higher. It's a key design constraint to remember.
Okay, let's talk chemistry. Ink. It's not all the same, is it?
Not at all. Saya breaks it down into the 2 main types, water-based inks and plastazole.
And Saya prefers the water-based ones.
She does. Water-based ink is thinner, it soaks into the fabric like a dye, it leaves a very soft feel, it's breathable, and it's more eco-friendly. But it has one big weakness.
You can't print it on dark-colored shirts.
Exactly, it's transparent. Printing yellow water-based ink on a black shirt is like using a watercolor marker on black paper. It just vanishes. For that, you need plastisol.
The industry standard.
The workhorse, yeah. Plastisol is basically liquid plastic. It's thick, it's opaque, and it sits on top of the fabric. That's why colors look so bright and vibrant on dark garments.
But it's that ink that can feel a bit rubbery or heavy sometimes.
That's right. It has a heavy hand, as they say in the business. And you have to cure it at a very high heat, around 160 degrees Celsius, to get that plastic to set permanently.
There's so much science to it. And safety, too. That's something Bella notices.
For sure. She sees Saya wearing gloves. The emulsion, the chemicals used to clean the screens, they're industrial grade. You need to protect your skin. And good ventilation is non-negotiable, especially when you're curing plastisol fumes.
And it's physical work, pulling that squeegee 300 times.
It's a workout. Saya tells her you have to use your core, lift with your legs. It's a craft. And you have to be meticulously clean. The golden rule of the studio is to clean your screen immediately.
Why is that so critical?
If that ink dries in the mesh, it's like concrete. It clogs the holes forever. The screen is ruined. You have to run the shop with the discipline of a professional kitchen. Everything in its place.
Bella takes all this in, and she has this huge realization.
A total light bulb moment.
She realizes she doesn't need to buy all this stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to become a printer.
No. Her job is to design for the production method, to understand the process so she can give the printer exactly what they need. A vector file, the color specified, a clear brief.
She goes from being just an artist to being a production partner.
A design to production expert. That's the shift. She goes back, preps the files perfectly, and sends them to Saya. And because the files are right, Saya can start printing immediately.
Is it the result?
3 weeks later, success. 300 students are walking around in crisp white shirts with these bold black mascots. The print feels professional, soft, and the students love that it doesn't peel off like last year's shirts did.
That experience must have completely changed her business.
Absolutely. Now, when a client comes to her, she can guide them. She can say, okay, you want 50 shirts, let's do digital. You want 500, we should do screen printing, but we'll need to simplify this part of your design.
She's adding so much more value because she understands the whole picture.
Exactly. Collaboration beats isolation. Sela, the technical expert, and Bella, the creative designer, working together, made something better than either could have alone.
It's such a great story. We wear these clothes every day and we don't think about the chemistry and the craft that goes into a simple printed t-shirt.
It just shows that understanding how things are made makes you a better creator, no matter what you do.
Before we sign off, let's give one last reminder about our sponsor and our community. This Deep Dive was brought to you by omni.com. That's omi-my.com.
Please do check out their site to read the full story of Bella, and don't forget to scan that QR code on our poster to join the Devi the Curious's WhatsApp community.
We also want to hear from you. Post in the comment box. What do you want to learn about next? Natural dyes, 3D printing on fabric. Let us know what you're curious about.
We really do build these deep dives for you. We'll be back soon with more content, so please follow our podcast and stay tuned.
As we wrap up, is there one final thought you want to leave everyone with?
I think so. In the story, there's a sign on Saya's studio wall that says, "Every print tells a story." What Bella learned was that the quote-unquote boring stuff, the chemistry, the mesh counts, the cleaning schedules, it didn't limit her creativity, it amplified it. So I guess the thought for you to take away is, what's the boring technical part of your own work that you've been avoiding? Because maybe, just maybe, that's where your next big breakthrough is hiding.
That is a powerful thought to end on. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Goodbye, and keep learning.